The first trailer for the new documentary, All Things Must Pass, has hit the web. Directed by Colin Hanks, yes, Tom Hanks' son, the film chronicles the rise of Tower Records, from its explosive inception to its eventual demise. And while everyone blames the internet for the end of the iconic music store, Hanks digs into the real story behind the end of an institution. How did Tower go from $1 billion a year business to bankruptcy in a very short window of time? Schnepp, do you buy or sell this trailer for All Things Must Pass?
I buy this trailer heavily. It looks really, really interesting. And it's something that really has affected everyone that I know, not just Tower Records closing. That was the very first death knell to every one of these individualized, like even Borders, where, you know, people would go and it's like, it's the shopping and kind of milling about and being able to look at physical media as we enter this whole other realm that we're moving into where that's not even important anymore. I mean, you've seen the rebirth of vinyl. To a certain degree, we have, you know, with DJs, and now it's becoming a cool thing to play vinyl again, which I think is great. But are we ever going to have a Tower Records again? No. And I think this is really indicative of a certain time. And if you want to learn about the history of how Napster affected the whole globe as far as sales of just vinyl and records in the music industry, and then now we've got torrents that are affecting the movie industry, it's the same exact thing. So, you know, I'm very much looking forward to it.
I remember it was just a few days ago, an email got passed across my desk about if we were interested in talking to Colin Hanks about this new movie. And I remember thinking, it's, you know, yeah, the Napster came along, the digital age came, that's what happened. But then you watch this trailer and, you know, you see Bruce Springsteen in there, you see Elton John in there, and you see them talking about the impression I get both from the synopsis and the trailers that, hey, everybody just assumed it was Napster that did it. But there was actually a bigger story going on behind the scenes that did. And suddenly this story, I love when movies can take isolated stories like Tower Records, the story, and find the drama that lies within there and bring it out as a narrative and bring it out as a story. And I got to tell you, the trailer totally sold me. I went from being, it sounds like to wow. This feels like something I gotta see. So for me, the trailer's a big buy.
It's a huge buy for me. I'm a huge fan of music documentaries. If you haven't seen this echoes back to things that I've seen recently, like the Muscle Shoals documentary or Studio Sound City that Dave Grohl did. It's that kind of feeling where you want to know the history of something like that. You take out the history of Tower Records, but also just the changing of the guard, like what you guys referenced, how physical media, it went from vinyl to cassette to CD and then magic. And then all of a sudden, it's this digital age where you don't need to go anywhere. There's two landmark places in Los Angeles. One was Tower Records. The other one is Amoeba. And Amoeba's still there largely because they sell vinyl. And there's been a resurgence in vinyl, and Tower Records never got that opportunity. When I first moved to Hollywood, one of the landmarks that I got to see, I walked by Tower Records, and I'm like, oh, this is the Tower Records. So I'm fascinated by this documentary. I can't wait to see it.
You know, one of the things that it does bring to my mind, too, you mentioned Amoeba. If you live anywhere in or around Hollywood or visited Hollywood, chances are, or watch the opening to Entourage, you've seen Amoeba Records.
Yeah.
It is a landmark in this town. I often wonder, every time I go past it, though, I often wonder, how much longer? How much longer?
It's always popping off, though.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
There's then they do shows and stuff there, too, which
they've
helps.
expanded themselves.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
To cover a lot of things and stuff like that. They've handled it
And
really well.
there's not that many of them. So they didn't franchise all over the place. I think there's only 3 Amoebas. There's one in San Francisco and here in LA, and I think there's one somewhere else. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think there's one in Pasadena, too. Fun fact about the Tower Records used to be in LA. David Lee Roth, they actually built a skyscraper, like a mountain for him to climb on top of Tower Records to promote his album Skyscraper. That was like the height of the 80s and excess and everything. And it was just a really cool, I'll Instagram the picture. It's awesome to look at.